Um, Shane's asked me to come and share tonight about our experience with doing virtual H&I. It's best for me to start in the very early days. For me, I got clean in a town called Darwin, which is way up in the north of Australia. And it was a place without NA meetings at the time that I got clean. My first phone call to NA was, along the lines of, there's no NA where you live, and we're sorry, there's nothing we can do to help you. And I was fortunate enough that that person who took that call went the extra distance and found out about one Skype meeting that was running in Australia at the time. This is about 8.5 years ago. And I went to that meeting. I had one meeting a week, so I was very desperate to, I started meetings at a couple of weeks clean. And I started doing H&I at about 30 days clean. I didn't particularly know what it was, but I knew that, I'd read about it and I'd heard about it, and I'd started these meetings, and I was sitting by myself week after week, and I started going out to a facility, very early days and very mad, and and I was told that that when we do H&I, we should be doing it in pairs, and I simply didn't have a pair. I had no one else to go with, and so what I started doing was I'd ring, I knew a couple of people from the online meeting that I'd go to, and I'd ring them on my telephone. This was on an old iPhone 3, and I'd ring them, and I'd put them on speakerphone, and we'd huddle around on a little table, and I'd get someone from elsewhere to share, and I guess that was, the early days of looking at what distance recovery looks like. This was a long time back. The meetings have grown a lot since then. And I think that's the first thing that came sort of close to sort of a virtual H&I, just a, simple speakerphone, and it's not undoable today, like even with all the great technology we've got, we can be as simple as put your phone on speaker, have two people sitting there, and we share to another addict, and that's, that's how we roll. And I love that, I love that we can make it simple, and I love that we can make it complicated, and I got the privilege of serving in outreach, for the Australian Regional Service Committee and I served there for 6 years, and I really saw our role as, I didn't want someone else to have the same phone call I had. I didn't want someone to ring NA and get that simple message, sorry, there's no meetings where you are and we can't help you. And by that time, we'd grown the online meetings. We watched them when they got to 7 meetings a week. We could offer an addict anywhere 90 meetings in 90 days. We could offer an addict our entire country. And we started looking at, I'd get all the inquiries for people, who'd either got clean at the online meetings and then wanted to start meetings, and what we could offer them, and we'd send them a starter pack, and we could be there for them, and they could, come to our teleconference, but really it wasn't a hell of a lot, and for addicts with one or two people in their meetings, they simply can't do H&I, and that's when the idea was born of growing a virtual H&I to be able to put a H&I meeting in those small towns, so that then those meetings could grow, etc., etc. And I worked with a lady called Ida, and the first one we kicked off, I went up to Darwin, and this was where I got clean, and it was at a facility that that had a negative experience of Narcotics Anonymous quite some time back, like I'm talking back in the 70s, but they'd closed the door to us, and they closed the door quite properly. Someone had bring drugs into the facility through a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and they would just simply, time after time, went, no, we don't want your literature, blah, blah, blah. And we just kept knocking on the door. We just kept gently doing what we were doing. And I went up there to do some workshops on cultural sensitivity regarding our Indigenous peoples. And while we were up there, we just went, let's contact everywhere we can. Let's make our time useful up there. And I was always, I always had in the back of my mind, a virtual H&I, and we're talking a couple of years back now, and went into this facility that had always been a closed door, and the new manager was one of us. He was a member, and I presented the idea to him. I just said, look, this is what we're looking at. Like, we believe that human resources are our biggest problem in NA. When 2 addicts can share to 20 or 30 facilities at a time, we cut down a whole lot of, things we can't do, and we open the door to places, and we open the door to speakers, and for me, from an outreach point of view, I also wanted to give the opportunity to our isolated members to be able to do, the special thing that is H&I service. And we got our first guinea pig, and it was a little facility in Darwin, and we started showing up weekly, and, we went video both ways. We were initially on Skype. Yeah, and it was really just about that vision of NA service, that we can put H&I in any town. Those meetings start members, those members start meetings, blah, blah, blah. It was about fellowship development. And, I didn't find it hard to find speakers. Our rosters, I think it's about 4.5 months long. Each time I do up the roster, we've got that many speakers. We've got a messenger chat that we run through, and that is the group conscience for our online meetings, and all decisions are put in that messenger chat. And it's consensus-based decision making. We all go together, or we don't go at all. Eventually we got a second facility on, and it was very slow going, but we kind of, we didn't push it. We just gently did what we're doing. At the same time, we were creating radio ads that were getting played on rural radio, just letting people know there were online meetings, call this number, come and join. And it was that simple, just really getting that message out there as to how you cover a country as big as Australia. Like how we, like the message when I got to NA was, if you don't live on the East Coast, sorry about that. And we're in a really exciting time for service in Narcotics Anonymous. This technical age is where we can just, there isn't a place we can't reach, and I really love that, and I love seeing the H&I grow. I shared it last Monday night, and not just, we had 5 facilities on last Monday night, and probably about 40 to 50 addicts. But not just that, a lady who used to live in my town that was very close to me, I did the H&I with her, and, she's 4,000 kilometres away, another facility's 4,000 away, and we're covering, a geographical, 6,000 square kilometres or something, and connecting with someone really special to me, and, we've got 2 more joining this week. You can imagine at this time, it's just, we are getting a lot of calls. We're getting a lot of calls saying, can you service this facility as well? And you guys all are in a Zoom meeting. I don't need to run through what's technically involved with you. Like, it's as simple as what we're doing here. We've recently made a just an instructional video for facilities, and I'm hoping Shane can distribute that. I know he's got a copy of it if there's anyone who wants it. Share it, use it, do what you will with it. It belongs to the fellowship. And then an opportunity arose for us to, someone contacted me a while back and said, look, we know you've been running this virtual H&I. We've got an opportunity, and jails in Australia are very spread out. Most of the jails aren't anywhere near NA meetings, and most of them don't get serviced with H&I here. We have very few serviced, and we got a chance to meet with the guy, and he holds a huge portfolio. He holds, corrections, parole, Department of Family and Children, all comes under one guy. And and he's a guy who got clean in NA, in jail, you know, and he now sits in that position in Australia, which is really, you know, very, very significant here. And, you know, we went to this meeting with him, and I found it very intimidating. You know, he's married to the New South Wales Premier, and, you know, he's that sort of, you know, genre of big shot or something, you know, and nervously presented to him about doing jails and about the difficulty of red tape, the difficulty of isolation, blah, blah, blah. And you know, I found myself sort of in that, sort of saying, you know, if we get into doing this, you know, these members come out and make meaningful contributions to society. And I look over at who I'm saying that to. You know, I'm saying it to a guy who is, you know, holds a hell of a lot of political persuasion in our country, and got clean in NA in jail. I didn't need to sell it to him, you know what I mean? Like, he just was absolutely, he went, I get that dude, you know. And so we got the directives to start a jail one. They wanted us to use their communication system, which is a system called Just Connect. It's dodgy compared to what we use as far as Blue Jeans and Zoom goes. It's a really difficult system to use. It's the system they use for linking up court appearances, linking inmates with lawyers, etc., etc. That started off with 10 facilities. You know, we kicked off with 10 jails for, you know, our first one. We're getting the referrals coming through, and again, it's been, you know, they've requested every person sharing has a full jail clearance, even though we're only entering virtually. You know, every inmate attending needs an association check with every inmate attending in every facility. So it's tricky, and it's complicated, and it's hard to sort of to get it rolling at the moment. But we're just patiently chipping away at it. You know, we've got that foot in the door there. You know, we're really excited about it, and you know, the referrals are very slowly coming in, and we're getting more and more members that are getting those jail clearances to be able to do that one. And that brings us to now, you know what I mean? Like, now we started doing this because of isolation, you know, because we wanted to reach places where NA wasn't. We're in a difficult time for the fellowship. We're in a time where other restrictions are stopping us, you know, and it's lovely to see the fellowship embrace what we've been doing online for a long time. And it's even more beautiful those that, you know, like I still, you know, I've got foster kids, complex care foster kids, and kids of my own, and I still only do online meetings, you know. It's just lovely that we were ready, you know, and we're ready with virtual H&I, you know what I mean? And it's for those members here who are involved in service, my belief is you've already got the most important thing you need, and that being those relationships with the facilities. You know, the relationships with the facilities is what has taken us quite a large amount of time to build, because we're reaching out to places that don't know about NA. We're having to really start from scratch and go, you know, those sort of PowerPoint presentations and let them know what we are, what we offer as a resource in the community. You know, we put together emails, we've put together the video, you know, just all that basic sort of standard sort of PR stuff. And what we're watching at the moment is not about us reaching out, but facilities reaching out to us. And it's really exciting to go, we're ready, it's on at this time, here's your link, jump on in. You know, we started on Skype, we've switched over to Blue Jeans, finding that a lot better, and it'll certainly be better as growth goes. And at the moment in Australia, and probably very similar to there, we're getting a hell of a lot of inquiries from all different places who already have H&Is going. And, you know, just this week, there'll be a few, you know, just individual H&Is starting where they already, you know, the speakers that already attend those handled by their local areas and just simply supported. We just go, well, this is what we did. Here's how you do it. Off they go. You know, I don't know if I've got a heap more to share on it, but yeah, I'm excited to see this bit. I've loved seeing us band together. I've loved seeing us take on the challenges of what's going on at the moment. It's crazy times, you know, and I'm grateful for the technology that gives us the chance to do this, you know, that really gives us the chance to go, we're not alone, you know, you guys in treatment, we're here for you. And, you know, we really hope we can share the message of hope that all of us sitting in this room are really grateful for. I'll stop at that. Hopefully it's useful to you guys. Thanks.
All right, Brett, thank you. All right, everyone, I know some people got some questions. If you got a question, can you type it in the chat real quick and we'll hit Brett with it?
Got a bunch of them.
What are you seeing, Hal? I'm not.
Okay. Give me just a second here and I'll wrap right through them. Because there's emails mixed up in between them. No problem. Okay, for those of you that are listening, first off, while I'm looking for that, if we change your name to your last initial, please leave it that way for anonymity reasons. I'd appreciate that. Okay. I'm a GSR for my group, and about our H&I was told that facilities here in Queens, New York are trying to get addicts out and are not accepting anyone. I got sick. Our area isn't even considering having our area meeting. How do you get that changed? Or at least for H&I. So
You know what? I know who that was. Let me go find her.
Okay.
We know who she is. She's not gonna bomb us.
No.
Thea.
Yeah.
Can you explain that situation a little bit? Maybe Brett can help shed some light on it.
Hold on, I'm writing down a Suffolk person's number because I am close to them.
Sure.
To just I'm new on this stupid technology thing. You guys helped us get our home group up and running. We've had 2 meetings. The second meeting last Wednesday, our area chair was there. I asked him to stay after the meeting to do the chat. We're trying to run it just like you guys because it's freaking awesome. And he pretty much said that, well, there's no need for an area meeting because all they really do is hand out literature and, you know, we don't have that need anymore. I said, well, what about our subcommittees like H&I? And he said, well, I don't know if you know this, but they are literally throwing people, that was his words. And then he said, I'm not throwing, but asking people to leave if they had a place to go and not taking any new people in. And I said, are they giving them any NA information? And he said, I don't know. He kind of threw it back on the facilities that it's their problem to reach out to us. And I left Wednesday night after that meeting. I had a panic attack. I was sick because addicts are dying. I'm watching them come in here new with days, weeks, and our area won't even have an area meeting because they think it's only about handing out the literature. So I don't know, guys. I need you guys to help me and Wilvina is my regional something. And I don't know if she can reach out to our area or what, because I'll bounce to another area. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with that stuff. I need to help people. That's what we're supposed to do. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if I'm hooked up.
No, I can hear you. My ass was muted. I was gonna say, can you send Wilvina your number and you guys?
Yeah, you know, I am totally in touch. Hi, Thea.
I love.
It's Robina.
I know.
And you know, here's the thing that I've reached out to the area chair. I can reach out to him again, but you know, and I'll talk to you offline too, not to just take any more time.
Right.
So yeah, I reached out to all the H&I chairs of the area.
Well, we were in that transition, Wilvina. where we were going to be voting in new and whatnot. And so that's where we were when we were at our last
All right,
meet
you
in
know what?
person.
I can talk to you offline, like right after this call.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Thea, while I got you there also, if you can see the chat, Daniela put her information in there. The Suffolk area meeting did their area meeting via Zoom, so give her a call and she can probably help you with some information there also.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
Nassau H&I met this Thursday as well.
And
Okay,
Western Queens is not doing anything.
Okay.
The island will hook you up.
No, that's good. So we got, all right. So we got that.
Yep.
More information is going to be going on for that.
Okay.
Who's got a
ready?
question for Brett? While we've got Brett on the line, let's get some questions about nuts and bolts for him. And
I've got it. Okay, so Martina is asking if anyone else has any experience about using local, national radio and press for this.
well, for H&I or PR?
Martina had the question.
That would be for PR. I don't know if that has anything.
Okay, Martina, we'll save your question for PR, I guess, is the right thing to do, right, Shane?
I can answer a little bit on that one. We did rural ads specifically for the NA at home meetings because, like, we couldn't offer addicts face-to-face meetings for probably about not 90% of Australia. So we actually produced ads, had them professionally recorded, just simply saying 7 nights a week, 9 p.m, ring this number and you're in a meeting. And the directions were that simple back then that you could just simply ring a number and that was it. We didn't even tell people internet. We just said, ring this number, 9 p.m. The distribution was a little tricky, but we got them out to a certain point and then we had to pull them back in because those meetings grew too big and we changed over to Blue Jeans and the details were different by then. But it is as simple in my view as producing them. Radios have an obligation to play CSA. Our PR chair at the time was, well, we shouldn't send them to Christian. We shouldn't send them to this. We shouldn't. And I was just more of the view, send out 1,000, if 10 people pick them up, that's great. Just send them out. No, that sort of leave it in God's hands after that sort of thing, just with a nice write up and, keep it under 30 seconds for Australia. Yeah.
Okay, Stacy wanted to know, and this sort of touches on H&I also on PR. How do you reach out to institutions to get started? They have several prisons in the area that are too far to travel. So how would they go about talking to the institution and to talk them into doing that? Quote unquote.
We initially drafted a letter and, got input from a few PR chairs and ran it by until we had something that we thought was, solid and simple and clear as to what we were offering. We'd send it with, that NA resource in your community pamphlet attached and just simply, cold call the places, say, look, blah, 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 this is what we're doing. Can I send some information to your programs director? And just simply send it out. We've now produced a YouTube video that is basically an introduction video specifically for facilities. Shane's got a copy of that if you'd like to look at it and model something off it, or even if you wanted to use it, we can certainly re-record with different details. That's really not difficult for us. But basically the same way any PR is done, that you gently knock on the door, as professionally as we can, and I think it's more about the willingness to do it than the outcomes half the time anyway,
Okay, Brett, next one is, are the Australian PR materials available for other areas to see?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Brito, can you do a screen share maybe of some of your PS, like your
He's not going to be
PSAs?
able to do that right now.
Oh, okay.
But we
All right.
discussed
Yeah,
we're going to
I'm
sift
on
it
my
all out.
phone.
We'll
Okay.
send the whole fucking package out to everyone in an email.
Oh, wait up. I just saw a little message come up. I think Steve has posted the YouTube link. Is that the one for the institutions? We've also produced them for the online meetings. We've done one aimed at new addicts coming to online meetings.
Okay, that's in the chat. Very good.
And we've done one aimed at members, letting them know how to attend. And we've done it real step by step, professional voiceovers. Have a look at them. You know, like I think they've, you know, I worked together with our PR chair to produce them, and you know, I believe we've come up with a product that I'm really happy with. You know, like we're really stoked with how they've come out and the feedback we've gotten from them.
Great. Stacy said they're aware of NA and she's talked to them. They just need talking points. So I would assume that the talking points they can either see or draw from what you guys just posted in the chat. That's great.
I'm
At the
also
moment-
happy if anyone wants, I can forward our letter of approach that we were initially using, and it can, you know, you're welcome to use it word for word or use it as a guideline for sort of, you know, anything that you guys are looking at. But I think more at the moment, it's more about servicing the facilities we already have relationships with, you know, like because we are directly dealing with the situation in the world at the moment, and it's how we work on continuation of the good work already done, you know. And it's about sort of all those area H&Is, and it goes back to the question that I think it was Thea was asking before. It's about the local H&I chairs. It's about, you know, getting information to them that it is not difficult to set up a virtual H&I. If they're already doing face-to-face H&I, it's really not, it's not a big step. It's probably one phone call, you know, like we just suggest the facilities, all you need is a laptop. It's even better if you can run a HDMI cord from that laptop to a television. You know, we offer our facilities video both ways, but as we get bigger, we find some facilities just want the video in. You know, they don't want their clients seeing other clients all around Australia and that sort of mixing up. So we just say, your end of things is your call, but we're going to be bringing video to you, you know?
Okay, somebody had a question about what platform y'all are using to present all this stuff. So I guess it was just a laptop, and the HDMI would probably cover that.
Yeah, look, we're on Blue Jeans, but you know, it's much of a muchness. But you know, there's a lot of platforms out there as far as what people would choose to utilize.
All right, great.